to the state of Karnataka, wherein, in a big revelation, the Karnataka MLA Janardhana Reddy, BJP leader, in an exclusive interview with News9, accused Deputy Chief Minister Shivakumar of exposing the MUDA scam in an attempt to oust Chief Minister Siddaramaiah from power. MLA Janardhana Reddy stated that it was Shivakumar who obtained the confidential documents linked to the MUDA scam, aiming to weaken Siddaramaiah's position. And according to Reddy, only those in power would have access to such sensitive records, and not the opposition in the state, which happens to be the JDS-BJP combine. Reddy further claimed that the Congress party and the Congress's leaders are well aware that removing Siddaramaiah could destabilize the government. Yet, D.K. Shivakumar, with his eyes on the Chief Minister's seat, is allegedly spearheading efforts to push Siddaramaiah out. That is why, in that exclusive interview, Janardhana Reddy says that D.K. Shivakumar is trying to build a case against Siddaramaiah by bringing out the MUDA scam and take him down. Before we move on and speak to our colleague, listen in to an excerpt of that exclusive interview to News9 where Janardhana Reddy makes this high-level allegation.
MUDA ಹಗರಣ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದವರಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಡಾದಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ವಿಚಾರನ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು. ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ವಿಚಾರನ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು. ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದವರಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಡಾದಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ವಿಚಾರನ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು. ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ವಿಚಾರನ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು. ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದವರಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ
Let's quickly cut across to him. Mohammed Wajula, if you can hear us, a very good morning to you. First and foremost, let's not forget, Vaji, this is not the first time that, Janardhana Reddy has, leveled an allegation of this sort. I remember 3 weeks back, media reports had reported something similar. He's again trying to put pressure on this. But what can be learned in terms of the political ring that's heating up in Karnataka? And mind you, it's bipole season there now, isn't it?
Well, Kabir, at the face of it, it's a great Bollywood twist to the entire MUDA story where he comes out and says that, yes, it's D.K. Shivakumar who is the one who's plotted it. And if you see the chain of events at that point of time, yes, there was infighting within the Congress. There were leaders who had come out and said that it's time for Siddaramaiah to step out and there should be other communities who should be given opportunities. Vokaliga community was one such community and D.K. Shivakumar is one of the biggest leaders. We had other leaders from Jarki to other leaders who had come out and said that yes, opportunity should be given to leaders of other communities also. But how much of this statement of Janardhana Reddy is true? Because like you mentioned, he's been saying a lot of these things before also. In one of my interviews, he had also said that he had got an offer from Congress at one point of time. Rajshekar Reddy, who is the father of Jagan Mohan Reddy, had offered him to come and shift camps to the Congress during the time when he was arrested for the Bellary iron ore scam, and he did not shift his base and he showed his loyalty to Yediyurappa and to the BJP. And he's also mentioned the same thing in this interview. So all these bombs he's been dropping lately is also because of the elections that have been going. But how much of this is true? How much of the fact that he was invited by the Congress to join the party, that only Rajshekar Reddy could say, but unfortunately Rajshekar Reddy is not with us anymore. So how do we collaborate these statements of him, and how much of it is true that yes, D.K. Shivakumar was involved in this entire scandal is something only Janardhana Reddy could let us know right now. Because from the face of it, from what we know, it was a scam that was highlighted by the BJP. They've been pushing for it from the time it started. We've seen Padyatras that were done by the BJP. We'd also seen how there was an infighting within the BJP over the Mysore Padyatra, that the first big Padyatra they had done from Bangalore to Mysore, where the JDS was initially not ready to join them, but later on they joined them in the last minute. So all these things, development had happened in this entire case. But this particular statement by Janardhana Reddy sure does raises some questions with regards to whether this was Congress infighting. But if you see the chain of event at that point of time, you can actually believe this story. So it's like a Bollywood twist to the entire matter. But how far is it true is something that we'll have to get some clarity from him itself. But if you talk on the basis of chronology, it could be. But how far is it true, we don't know.
No, at the same time, Vaji, we must pay some sort of heed in terms of what word is coming out of the DKS camp. I remember I was with you in Karnataka when that thumping defeat was, meted out to the Bharatiya Janata Party. And you could clearly see that there was a Sidda camp, there was a DKS camp. Now, how is the DKS camp reacting to all these allegations? Because this is not the first time. It happened last month as well, towards the end of last month. And again, it has surfaced. Now, this does put DKS in a tricky sort of a situation. Or would you disagree?
Well, we could have agreed to this if we were at that juncture, at that point of time which you're talking about during the election time. Yes, there was a camp like this. There were two different groups. But after the Chief Minister was designated to be Siddaramaiah, we didn't see any sort of rebellion within the DK camp. We didn't see DK coming out and saying that, no, this is wrong. He became a part of the government, and then we saw both of them working together. And time and again, when the party has seen infighting, it is it's DK Shivakumar who's come in the forefront and said, no, it is Siddaramaiah who's going to be the Chief Minister for the next 5 years. There is no infighting. If you remember, both of them together sat and took a class of all these rebel leaders and assured them and told them that they should not talk to the media with regards to this infighting. Yes, there are aspirations within the Congress. There are leaders who want to become chief ministers. They've been there in the Congress for 30, 40 years, serving their state, their constituency. And they expect that, yes, they have aspirations and they also should get an opportunity at the chief minister's seat. But if we talk about the DK and Siddaramaiah infighting that used to be there, but today we've seen both of them together taking classes of these rebel leaders. We've seen together going and meeting the high command, asking them on how they have to quell this rebellion within the party. So if we talk about both these camps, they seem to be united as we speak, because if we have to see if there is any camp within the BJP, they could have been within the rebel leaders who had voiced out their opinion of being the chief minister at that point of time. But during that time, we did not see DK Shivakumar coming out and saying that he wants to become the chief minister.
All right.
He had time and again reiterated that it is Siddaramaiah who is going to finish his term. And after that, we will see who becomes the chief minister. That could be anybody. It could be me. It could be Jarkioli, and it could be anybody else. But at this point of time, there don't seem to be any infighting within the Congress with regards to DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah. So how far the statement of Janardhana Reddy is true? But we should also remember it is the political season, it's the bipoles season,
Right.
and such jibes and accusations will be.
Vaji, that's exactly what I was trying to come to. That's exactly what I was
politics.
trying to come to, because you have infighting on both sides. Remember BL Santosh and very recently BY Vijendra. So infighting on both sides of the divide. Come to the brass tacks here. How is this going to now affect the upcoming bipoles?
Well, yes, yeah. How much it is going to affect the bipole, we'll only get to know when we see the results in the terms of votes and in terms of vote share. But yes, this statement will make the people in Sandur and in Shillong question at least the leaders and try to understand or go more deep into what the politics is as of now. But from what we see, we've seen both the parties, despite having infighting within them, we have an infighting in the BJP also, where we see a fight between Vijendra and the old horses, that is Basaraj Yetnal and leaders like Hegde. So all these people do not want Vijendra to be the leader. And on the Congress side, we've seen how there's an infighting for the chief minister's seat. So all these infightings have been happening, but how much of that will resonate with the voters is something we'll only get to know when the results will come out. But as we speak, both these parties have been showing a united front. Vijendra has been holding the party along, despite the fact that he has rebellions within his party. Siddaramaiah has managed to quell all those aspirants, saying that if there is an opportunity, it will only happen after I come back. In fact, Siddaramaiah, in one of his rallies, I think in Mandya, in Chanpatna, has gone on to say that if I am removed, then it is going to be a big loss for the entire Congress. The Congress in Karnataka will be finished. Siddaramaiah has made it clear that he is going to be the chief minister for till the term is there, and he's going to end his term as the chief minister. So how far the statement will play an effect, it's only something we'll only get to know when the counting happens.
Right, absolutely. Vaji, do stay on with us. Let's quickly listen in to that excerpt. Once again, Gali Janardhana Reddy speaking to News9 in that exclusive interview, of course, leveling that high-stakes allegation against DK Shivakumar for bringing out the MUDA scam into the public domain to, well, oust his own chief minister.
ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದವರಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಡಾದಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ವಿಚಾರನ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು. ಮುಡಾ ಹಗರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ವಿಚಾರನ ಬಯಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇ ಡಿ ಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು.
Well, my colleague Vajji continues to be with us, and we need his inputs on this next story as well, because even as these two parties continue to grapple each other in terms of graft allegations, the political battle in Karnataka is intensifying. The Congress and the BJP exchanging sharp rhetorics, words over corruption allegations. And like Vajji pointed out, it is bipole season. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, he hit back at Prime Minister Modi's recent ATM accusations, suggesting the Prime Minister is still reeling from the BJP's defeat in Karnataka. In his response, Siddaramaiah raised the Kunha report controversy, targeting Yediyurappa and Sri Ramulu over corruption charges. Take a look at this. Taking to social media platform X, Siddaramaiah said, and I quote, "How conveniently a politically motivated complaint from Karnataka's liquor traders reaches him with lightning speed. Yet, the recommendation by a retired judge-led investigation committee to prosecute former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa and Health Minister B. Sri Ramulu for COVID-era corruption appears to have evaded his attention. Prime Minister Modi, were you unaware that your own party's government was profiting from people's suffering during the pandemic?" And these are allegations that have been leveled against the Prime Minister for his ATM remark that he made for Karnataka. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah saying time and again, you're bringing the state back into your rhetoric, and that is because of the thumping defeat that was meted out to the BJP. Prime Minister Modi, while campaigning in Maharashtra's Akola, said that wherever a Congress government is formed, that state becomes the ATM of the party's Shahi Parivar. Listen in to what the Prime Minister also had to say, even as you peruse through the words of what Chief Minister Siddaramaiah had to say in his retort to the ATM jibe by the Prime Minister. Here's Prime Minister in Maharashtra's Akola, and then we'll quickly cut across to Vajji to understand the intricacies.
पूरा देश जानता है महाअगाड़ी यानी भ्रष्टाचार, महाअगाड़ी यानी हजारों करोड़ के घोटाले, महाअगाड़ी यानी पैसों की उगाही, महाअगाड़ी यानी टोकन मनी, महाअगाड़ी यानी ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग का धंधा। मैं महाअगाड़ी की घटक कांग्रेस का एक उदाहरण आपको देता हूं। जहां कांग्रेस सरकार बन जाती है, वो राज्य कांग्रेस के शाही परिवार का एटीएम बन जाता है। एटीएम पता है ना, लोग उसमें से पैसे निकालते हैं। एटीएम ये कांग्रेस का एटीएम बन जाता है, शाही परिवार का एटीएम बन जाता है। इन दिनों हिमाचल, तेलंगाना और कर्नाटका जैसे राज्य ये कांग्रेस के शाही परिवार के एटीएम बन गए हैं। एटीएम लोग बता रहे हैं कि इन दिनों महाराष्ट्र में चुनाव के नाम पर कर्नाटका में वसूली डबल हो गई है।
Karnataka mein वसूली डबल हो गई है. Vajji, help the viewers here. How does one read into the optics at play over here? There's a DKS versus Sidda that's happening. There's an infighting on both sides. But then again, the graft grapple continues vis-a-vis the Karnataka leaders and Prime Minister Modi, of course, mentioning Karnataka wherever he can.
Well, there are a lot of names which you can call this sort of rhetoric. One is rhetoric itself, then it's vendetta politics, then it's revenge politics, or it's just these jibes that are going on during during bipolar election. But if we see what both these leaders are talking into the depth of it, yes, there were scams that happened in both these governments, be it the BJP government or the Congress government. Now, if we talk about the Michael Dacuna report, the Justice Michael Dacuna report, that clearly shows about how during the COVID time, there were procurements that were done without proper bidding. There were procurements that were done with direct contacts with companies, which usually does not happen during a procurement. It is usually there is a bidding done that the person with the proper good bid and the bid that suits the state gets the rights to supply whatever equipment that the state wants. But in this particular report, we get to know that how PPE kits were picked up at the price of 2,000 rupees, which is exorbitant compared to what domestic sellers were selling at that point of time, is what this report claims. That at that point, domestic sellers were giving PPE kits at around 400, 2,400 rupees. But why did the state government, without any bidding, without approaching any domestic sellers, go directly to a Chinese company and picked it up from them? And in fact, when they were ready to pay for the freight charges and the delivery charges, that also was taken care by the state government. So all these questions were raised by this particular report. And from what we know, is the Chief Minister in his tweet last night had also said that there will be prosecuted where Yediyurappa, who is also named in this entire thing, Sri Ramulu was the health minister that time. And after Sri Ramulu, Sudhakar was made the health minister. So all these three people will be prosecuted in this entire matter. If we talk about this report, it was something that was a part of their manifesto also. The entire campaign of the Congress party to come into power was on the campaign of PCM, where it had accused the Basagaraj Lumai government of 40% commission with regards to contracts that were giving at that point of time. Now, that is one sort that the Congress is alleging. But if you look at the BJP camp, since they have they've become part of the opposition, they've also highlighted close to 3 scams. One is the Waqf scam, the Valmiki scam, and the MUDA scam. They've gone on to say that the Chief Minister is directly involved in this. So at one side, you have the BJP allegations with regards to the scam against the Chief Minister, against the Congress party. And then you have the Congress party alleging scams of the previous government, that is the BJP government, with regards to be it the Pay CM campaign where contractors are made to pay 40%, or this COVID report. Now, this COVID report that we know is just one part of it, which is just the PPE kit. The government has gone on to say that the other things that were procured at that point of time, if you remember, Kabir, there was a high demand for sanitizers. There was a high demand for remdesivir. There was a high demand for oxygen masks. There was a high demand for oxygen cylinders. And they believe that all these places, the government managed to do corruption, government managed to swindle some money, and that is the allegation of the Congress, and that is why they want to go ahead with the Michael Dapuna report, which is, as we speak, 2,700 pages only of this particular part, and the rest of the report still has to come out, and the subcommittee is looking into it. But if we look from the people's point of view, Kabir, it is clearly shown that be it the BJP or the JDS or the Congress, both of them or the three of them have their hands deep into corruption, and that is something that the state has been suffering. Corruption has been the biggest issue, and what we see is nobody trying to solve it but blame each other for their corruption.